Imagine being stranded at sea, the storm raging, your ship breaking apart, and everyone around you lost, except for one person. But here's the twist. That one person is a 19-year-old woman with no formal sailing experience, and she's about to do something no one thought possible. What happens next will shock you, because this woman didn't just survive a shipwreck, she changed history forever. Today, I'm going to take you on an unforgettable journey, one filled with survival, strength, and a legacy that would go on to shape the world in ways you'd never expect. Stick with me, and I'll introduce you to the extraordinary woman whose resilience defied the odds and turned a shipwreck into a turning point in history. It all started in 1704. The sea was unforgiving, and for those who ventured into its vast, unpredictable waters, it was a place of both opportunity and danger. But for one woman, her fate would be forever tied to a catastrophic event that no one saw coming. Her name was Mary Ann Brown Patten, and her story begins with a voyage that was supposed to be like any other. She was just 19 years old, recently married, and sailing with her husband, Captain Joshua Patten, aboard the clipper ship Neptune's Car. The journey was meant to be smooth and routine, just another long voyage from New York to California. But nature had other plans. One night, a sudden and violent storm slammed the ship. The Neptune's Car was tossed about like a toy, its sails shredded, its timbers splintering. Within hours, the crew was in disarray. The captain, Joshua Patten, was severely injured, leaving him unable to command the ship. Now, here's where Mary Ann's story takes a drastic turn. As her husband lay unconscious and unable to lead, Mary Ann stepped up. With the crew in chaos, she became the only person capable of steering the ship through treacherous waters. She was no trained sailor, but Mary Ann was determined, driven by the desperation to survive. Her courage didn't stop there. For weeks, she assumed full responsibility for the ship's navigation and daily operations. She worked alongside the crew, making decisions, giving orders, and even performing repairs on the ship. Imagine this. A 19-year-old woman in the 1700s, a time when women were rarely given any authority, let alone control over a ship at sea. But Mary Ann wasn't just any woman. Against all odds, she managed to guide the ship safely through the storm, and when the ship finally reached its destination, the crew, who had seen their fair share of experienced sailors, and the passengers were in awe. They weren't just impressed, they were astounded. A woman had done what many thought was impossible, survived a deadly storm, and brought the ship to safety. But her story didn't end there. Mary Ann's courage and determination would forever change the way people viewed women's roles in society, especially in the male-dominated world of the sea. She proved that strength wasn't defined by gender or circumstance, but by willpower, courage, and the ability to rise in the face of overwhelming adversity. In a time when women were seen as delicate and incapable, Mary Ann broke the mold. Her tale was eventually written into history books, inspiring countless individuals and challenging the gender norms of her time. But beyond her immediate impact, her survival and leadership sparked a larger conversation, one that would ripple through generations. Mary Ann's incredible resilience made her a symbol of the power that lies within each of us when we face seemingly impossible odds. She didn't just survive the shipwreck, she turned it into a platform for change, inspiring women and men alike to rethink what was possible. So, what's the real lesson here? Mary Ann Brown Patten's story isn't just about surviving a shipwreck. It's about stepping up when no one expects it, leading when others falter, and showing the world that no obstacle is insurmountable if you have the courage to face it head-on. Her legacy continues to inspire even today in a world that still grapples with breaking down barriers. And every time you hear a story about someone overcoming seemingly impossible odds, remember that Mary Ann's story has paved the way for others to do the same. If you found this story inspiring, make sure to share it with someone who needs a reminder of the incredible power of resilience. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. You never know. Maybe the next history-changing story is just around the corner.